Hello, everyone. We'll begin now. I want to welcome you to our VAR webinar, where we'll tell you about upcoming announcements and offers that will coincide with the AMUG conference, which occurs in Chicago, March 31st to April 4th, and the Hanover Messe event in Germany, which takes place April 1st through 5th. And then at the end, we'll answer any questions that you might have about these announcements and offers. And please remember that all of the information that we share during this webinar is considered confidential. For those of you who might not know anything about AMUG, it's the Additive Manufacturing Users Group. It is truly a conference. It's not a trade show. And it's a very customer-oriented event, primarily attended by very experienced, deeply experienced users of additive manufacturing, a lot of additive manufacturing lab managers. And these folks primarily come from very big industrial companies like the John Deeres of the world, as well as the military. A lot of military folks come to this event looking for equipment to purchase. So that's just a little bit about AMUG if you're unfamiliar with the conference. And I think at this time, I'll turn things over to Kishore, who will take you through Hanover Messe and the offers and the announcements. Kishore?
Thanks, Julie. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're in. At Rise, we are seeing fantastic momentum in the marketplace. We gave you an update in January before we went to SolidWorks World. I will share a little bit of what happened there today as well, but really good momentum coming out of SolidWorks World. And now we have two very large events that we are part of, both in the first week of April. One in Chicago with AMUG conference, and as Julie said, it's a user conference. And the second one, which is Hanover Messe in Germany. And this is like CES, close to 200,000 people attend. Hanover Messe, it's an Industry 4.0 IT conference. And so in both places, we have some prominent spots. We have some offers for both these sessions, and I want to share that with you today as we go forward. It will be around 5 to 10 plus minutes of presentation, and we will open up to Q&A towards the end. Okay. So let's talk about, I want to show you really quick what's happening at Hanover Messe in Germany. In Hanover Messe, we are part of the Dassault Systems booth. As you can see in the bottom, it's fairly large. We have a prominent space, and we are actually presenting RISE along with Dassault with respect to creating generative shapes, showcasing the whole idea around smart spaces and such, along with ABB and others. If you or your customers are going to both either AMUG or Hanover Messe, I would love to, first of all, hello to you if you're there, as well as meet your customers as well at both these particular booths. And as you can see in the Dassault Systems booth, it's fairly large, as you can see the image here. But we do have a RISE 3D printer. There is SolidWorks right next to Dassault Systems, ABB, and 3DS collaboration story is there as well. There is some stuff around human ergonomics. This is the presentation area, so users can sit down and go through presentation. There are some meeting rooms, coffee areas, and such. And there are other things with respect to 3D Experience Works with the ABB robot and the 3DS corporate platform demo and such. So both in very prominent areas and should create momentum for us as we go into Q2 and the rest of the year. Now, very quickly, I want to share with you what we are doing at RISE and our mission for RISE. It is basically to make industrial 3D printing easy. You have seen this before, but I think it's important to reiterate. RISE is extremely simple and straightforward to use, which means it's scalable inside the organization, and depending on the organizational needs. Once you have your designs, with very few clicks, you're able to go manufacture your part. And anyone in the company, including on the factory floor, in the engineering departments, in the marketing departments, it doesn't matter where you are, you will be able to use RISE to create high quality industrial grade components, and use that internally, or even use it on the production side and take it to the marketplace. RISE is a safe printer. Probably, basically, it has zero emissions, people safe and environment safe. And it is also safe after the part is done, with QR codes and such, where you have full traceability of the part as it is used in whatever environment it is. So it's safe from a process and manufacturing standpoint, and it's safe because it protects customers' IP. It also protects. It is fully traceable, and it's a trusted and authentic part. One of the things that we have innovated on, in addition to focusing on the user with simplicity, keeping the process safe, or 3D printing process safe, is speed. You have very minimal pre and post processing. In the pre-processing, you have basically, with few clicks, you are ready to manufacture the part. And in post-processing, with our augmented polymer deposition, and the way we apply the releasings in between the raft and the part, and the support and the part, your supports and others easily peel away, and very quickly you have a part in hand. So customers tell us, and obviously you know it as well, with RISE, you have the fastest part in hand. And obviously strength. That we have innovated on the material process as well as the 3D printing process, where your Z strength is very close to both X and Y, which is very, very unique in the 3D printing industry, especially when it comes to FFF and FDM. So basically what you have is a printer that's extremely simple, safe, the fastest part in hand, which is fast, and finally you get best in class this strength, and this is what our customers like. And the fact that it's industrial nature, which means it's running 24/7, and we have customers using it 365 days a year, creating parts for a variety of use cases. What we will be showcasing at both AMUG as well as at Hanover Messe is RISE 1, which is a monochrome printer. Obviously, we'll be showcasing in both places printing carbon, as well as XRISE, which is an all-in-one printer, carbon plus full color. So these two will be on display at Hanover. I think it's more RISE 1. At AMUG, it's both RISE 1 and XRISE. So your customers and yourself, if you're there, or your prospects, can actually see both these printers in display and networks. Okay. Now, so these are the key announcements, and I will delve a little bit deeper into each one of these in the subsequent slides. The key announcements: one is we are announcing smart spaces for innovation. When we talk to our customers, what we see them is using RISE to drive innovation inside the company across the board. And it only makes sense, and that's the reason why we actually made the announcement at SolidWorks World with SolidWorks is to create these smart spaces for innovation, and I will talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. We are also in North America demonstrating XRISE all-in-one desktop industrial 3D printer first time to the NAM market. And X-Rise is a very um, unique printer in the marketplace because it does Rhizome white and Rhizome black, and Rhizome has fantastic properties for our end customers. It also does carbon, and it also does full color. There's nothing like this in the market, and so it's all-in-one desktop industrial printer, the world's first, and we will be showing that for the NAM market. We have a special time offer for X-Rise, and I know you must have seen an email before from us, and I will talk about that. And finally, the SolidWorks offer, which we announced at SolidWorks World. Okay, so let's talk about smart spaces for innovation, obviously powered by X-Rise. It will be announced on March 27th, which is 2 days from now, and keep a lookout for that announcement. So what is a smart space? A smart space is one inside companies that make the users, different departments, and end customers in a connected, interactive, and intelligent environment. Connected because of the print process, connected how RISE does things. It allows with the QR codes and such very interactive behavior, and it creates intelligence environments, the way RISE interacts with the rest of the ecosystem. And one of the things we'll be showcasing at both the events is with the QR codes, not only do you get metadata and such, now you can extend it to augmented reality and virtual reality, which makes 3D printed parts a whole new experience where now it's incredibly collaborative and its interactive nature to end customers. So we'll be not only showcasing full color parts with X-Rise, as well as carbon with many of its use cases, carbon parts for jigs, fixtures, and everything else. We will also be showcasing extending the 3D printed part into the virtual world with AR, VR experiences. So if you really think about it, what you have now is a digital environment where you do your designs connected to the physical, where you 3D print the part with RISE, and now with RISE capabilities connected back to the digital, which is now you can get your metadata. Likewise, augment the part with AR, VR, and such. So we'll be showcasing it, very unique and incredible value for customers at both Formnext as well as Hanover Messe. So our customers tell us with RISE, they are innovating in product design, innovating in manufacturing, and innovating in service. So it's only natural that when we launch these smart spaces for innovation, we are going to do it for all three categories: for product innovation, manufacturing innovation, as well as service innovation. So smart spaces in this case integrate very innovative approaches in design with safe, easy, and full color 3D printing. We talked about that. And these are not just a 3D printed part anymore. With QR codes and such, these are now intelligent parts. And these intelligent parts can be digitally connected to AR, VR, blockchain. We demonstrated this last year, and obviously internal systems inside our companies. And with RISE, companies can accelerate innovation, improve productivity, and compared to traditional manufacturing, cut costs by up to 90%. If you go to rise3d.com, our website, and you go to case studies, there are several case studies you should be able to leverage as you go and meet customers during pre-sales activities, as well as post-sales activities, where they can get inspired with what other RISE customers are doing. So the first thing is we are announcing smart spaces for innovation. RISE drives innovation inside customers in all areas. That's product design, product innovation, on the manufacturing innovation, as well as service innovation. And we'll be showcasing that at both AMUG as well as Hanover Messe the first week of April. And I think it's incredibly powerful when we start visiting our customers and prospects to talk about a connected, interactive, and intelligent environment with RISE, powering innovation inside their companies, internally and externally as well. So let's talk about what we are seeing with respect to the smart spaces for innovation. For product innovation, our customers tell us with RISE, they're able to accelerate time to part with increased iterations. To be more precise, one of our customers told us that they are able to compress launching parts up to between 2 and 3 weeks. And with RISE, a design iteration is a day versus multiple days. So in other words, you have an idea during the day, you manufacture it at night, you come back in the morning, and you can make your design iterations with a haptic experience. You touch and feel your designs, and now you can go make necessary changes. The other big, very interesting use case that our customers are telling us is with XRISE. You are now able to 3D print the simulation results in full color. And not everybody is an engineer in your ecosystem, inside customers' ecosystem. And so having this 3D printed finite element analysis or a CFD part will help extend communication across the board inside the complete enterprise. And 3D printing is absolutely key to understanding generative shapes, like the part that you are seeing here with the QR code in white. And generative shapes are not easy to understand until you have a haptic experience where you 3D print the part, you touch it, feel it, functional prototype it, actually put it in a working environment, and see how it interacts and behaves with the rest of the assembly. And so we had several cases where people were getting trained on generative designing for generative inside their design environment, and it became real only after they were able to 3D print the part, touch it and feel it, and now they would go back and make the necessary design changes. And likewise, an ability to print the FEA in full color on the design on this generative shape makes a big impact into speeding the design iterations and hence the product innovation. So RISE is integral, in our opinion, to all companies to enable product innovation by accelerating time to part, enabling design to simulation to be on the same page, and obviously, helping companies design generative shapes as they go to market. Now, when we talk about smart spaces in manufacturing, this is amazing what customers are doing. Something that costs $800 and a week to 2 weeks of lead time, they're able to do it in less than $40 and in a day. And so the cost reductions are up to 90+%. And we'll be showcasing Carbon. And with both RISE and Carbon, now you can do custom tools, jigs and fixtures, low volume end production parts. And obviously, another big use case is reduce errors in engineering to manufacturing handoff. What we have heard from customers is that when you do your design and push it to manufacturing, in addition to 2D drawings as well as MBD, having a 3D printed parts in full colors, highlighting similar holes, highlighting datum planes, can massively reduce the number of errors that happen when something goes from an engineering to a manufacturing handoff. So now you have RISE enabling companies do better manufacturing, cheaper, faster, with less errors as they implement it inside their organizations. So we are seeing good use cases for both product innovation as well as smart spaces in manufacturing. Now, let's talk about smart spaces in service innovation. And this is where we have MRO and service parts. Things break in a manufacturing floor all the time. Many times you don't even have the suppliers exist anymore. Many times you can't possibly keep all parts in inventory. That's impossible. And when something breaks, now you need to quickly turn around so you don't stop the manufacturing process. So on-demand printing of spare parts is a real use case with massive ROI or return of investment. And with RISE, we already have several case studies. You can go to our website again. Azot is one. You can take a look at how they are using RISE to do digital inventory, and which helps reduce locked capital, obviously. And you print part on demand, and even our customers have trademarked something called TOMO, which is take one, make one. So with RISE, we just don't 3D print parts. We enable customers to innovate. And the nice thing is we don't not only just enable our customers to innovate in the design departments, which is on product innovation, we help customers in manufacturing as well as service innovation as well. So the impact of RISE inside companies is across the board in the entire value chain of design to manufacturing to shipping parts to end customers. And with Carbon, the use cases will expand massively to tools, jigs and fixtures, to low volume parts, and with Color, to marketing, to understanding the functional aspects of the parts, and many other use cases that our customers are telling us that come with the RISE. So the first big announcement we are going to make is Smart Spaces for Innovation, and we'll be showcasing that at both AMUG as well as Hanover Messe. Obviously, we went to Formnext with an offer which was incredibly successful. At SolidWorks, we announced something, and I will talk about that. And for both AMUG and Hanover Messe, for a limited time until June 30, 2019, if a customer pre-orders XRISE or purchases XRISE, they get a $10,000 in US and some other parts of the world, and 10,000 euro voucher. And to be precise, this offer is only for XRISE. It is not for RISE 1. So just be clear. And this voucher can be used towards other RISE products. The customer can buy maintenance with this, extend the warranty in North America, or buy a second year maintenance in the rest of the world. They can purchase a stand plus material. And I think it will enable all three of those actually. It's a very generous voucher. And I think it's a fantastic value for end customers if they purchase XRISE between now and June 30th of 2019. To be clear, this does not apply to any other offer or discounts or anything that a customer might ask for. So this is exclusive. In other words, you can't mix this with any other offer to the marketplace. Okay. So I just want to recap SolidWorks World 2019, and this showcases the momentum RISE is having in the marketplace. November last year, Hanover Formnext was absolutely fantastic. We got incredible press releases, awards as we went into Formnext. And as we went into SolidWorks World 2019, which is in February of this year, the same thing happened. We had some really nice awards, 16 plus articles, press articles, worldwide coverage. And we announced we had some fantastic press meeting with 100 plus press conference, with SolidWorks, and we had great response from customers and VARs. And this is the booth that you're seeing here, and this is exactly the same booth that will be there at AMUG as well, Additive Manufacturing User Group Conference in Chicago. So when we went to SolidWorks World in February, three things happened. As we walked into the event, RISE, we received a Frost & Sullivan Award for Best Practices in Technology Innovation for Zero Emission Polymer Additive Manufacturing. And this is absolutely key because all customers are looking for a safe processes. whether they are leveraging RISE as a smart space in engineering or manufacturing or in service, safety is key. And so it just makes it easy for customers to implement RISE without any venting, without having to worry about any health hazards or anything like that. So Frost and Sullivan recognized that, and we had a fantastic award as we went into SolidWorks World. At SolidWorks World, we announced a strategic partnership with Dassault Systems, and I will talk about that in just a bit. And what this basically means is where with every RISE 3D printer a customer purchases, both RISE 1 as well as XRISE, the customer actually gets a SolidWorks fully commercial version of SolidWorks Standard, and this goes to our original idea, and we started this early, is a smart spaces. And to have a smart space, you need an ability to innovate on the digital design aspect of it, and SolidWorks is obviously top notch at getting that done. And once the design is done, now you can actually 3D print using RISE, and now you can take it back to digital with AR, VR, as well as connect it to metadata that could come from a PDM, PLM, and a ERP system. So the seeds of these smart spaces started at SolidWorks World with a strategic announcement. And then finally, I think you as a partner would like to know that in addition to all the things that happened, we successfully closed Series B, and that includes raising $15 million. And Dassault Systems, in addition to InnoSpark Ventures and Sparta and Converge, are investors into RISE. So we are now backed by deep and powerful and well-regarded investors to help RISE succeed. In addition to these smart spaces, in addition to the strategic announcements, I think you will see velocity as we go to the marketplace for the rest of the year. Now, what is this strategic partnership about? It basically means, as I explained before, is to include SolidWorks with every RISE commercial sale. Basically, it allows for seamless integration, and we are going to work on it for the rest of the year to make it absolutely top-notch. It helps compress product cycle time, and this is what smart spaces do from design, engineering, manufacturing, and service. With RISE, you have safe, digitally augmented parts with IP protection and traceability, and obviously the fastest time to part, and this is what customers tell us. And then we have this bundled offer. So to recap, and this offer includes obviously SolidWorks standard license. So to recap real quick, we have two very large events. First week of April, AMUG from March 31st through April 4th, and the first week of April in Germany with Hannover Messe. We are actually in prominent spaces in both. In North America, we are launching for the first time the all-in-one XRISE in North America. And we are going to launch smart spaces that we talked about, smart spaces for engineering, smart spaces for manufacturing, and smart spaces for service MRO parts, where now you have customers have an ability to drive innovation and get products faster into the marketplace. This is what every company tries to do, and RISE is and will be an integral partner to help the customers worldwide succeed. We also have, we are going to announce this offer that we talked about, which is if someone buys XRISE between now and June 30th, they have a $10,000 or a 10,000 euro voucher towards other RISE products like stand, material, extended warranty, and such. And obviously, they, for the rest of the year, whenever a customer purchases RISE, an end commercial customer, it includes SolidWorks to enable the whole smart spaces concept. And obviously, with e-drawings and other tools with SolidWorks, very quickly you can do AR, VR, and such. So at this point, I will open it up for Q&A. If you have any questions, please feel free to type or ask on the phone, and we will answer those for you. So Kelly asks, when does the SolidWorks offer expire? For the standard license, it's through the end of the year. So it's December 31st, 2019. So the maintenance needs to be purchased from their SolidWorks reseller. And if they don't have a reseller, uh, we will work with the SolidWorks team to find the reseller that's most conducive for you. And we understand that some of you are not SolidWorks resellers, but we can pair you up with somebody that makes sense for you and your territory to sell the maintenance on top of it. Okay, so there's a question, when Rise 3D can be integrated for printing with AR, VR. So the way it works is the power comes from the QR code, and we will demonstrate this, and we will do another webinar after AMUG and Hanover Messe to show you over the web how it works. So today, if you 3D print a part with QR code, the QR code can link to any number of things. And what we have done, and it's very simple, is to link it to eDrawings, which has augmented reality already built in. And within 2 clicks, now you will be able to visualize on your phone or any device a augmented reality version of the part, leveraging the tools that come with SolidWorks standard. So basically what happens is, or any customer in the world can download eDrawings onto their phones, and it could be any other augmented reality tool, but for now we are showing it with eDrawings that comes from SolidWorks, where with the QR code it goes to the eDrawings, it opens up the full assembly, and now you can explode the assembly. You can actually do augmented reality on the table. So basically, if you design a machine and you 3D print a part of that machine, now when you go to the QR code, the entire machine will come live on the table in front of you in one-to-one dimension, and now you can explode it, zoom it, do all kinds of things. So it's already working. The virtual reality, the same thing. From the QR code, you can with 2-3 clicks go to HTC Vive. You can go to HoloLens, and now start visualizing the full assembly. So now what you have is you have your digital designs 3D printed, and from 3D printed part, go back to the virtual with augmented reality and virtual reality. It's fairly simple, but Rise enables it with its augmented polymer deposition and an ability to print colors in the QR codes and everything else. Hope that answers your question. So I think the key takeaway is that with Rise, it's just not a 3D printer. It is part of the innovation process at customers. It actually accelerates innovation for both engineering to manufacturing and for MRO and service with the all-in-one X-Rise printer. And I think it's a powerful message we should take worldwide to the end customers. And we should change the way customers see 3D printing because with Rise, we enable that to make it happen. So it looks like there are no other questions. And have a fantastic end of the quarter.